What's cracking, guys? Omar Esoff here, back with another walkie-talkie. I post informative content. This is going to be something more where I just talk a little bit to you, with you. I'm walking backwards. If you guys remember last time, I had my cameraman walk backwards. Now, my fate is in his hands. Hopefully I don't trip. Hopefully I don't bust my teeth out. We're going to see. I want to talk today about something that I'd like to call you can't have it all. And here's what I mean. You can't be a jack of all trades because you'll end up being a master of none. And when I mention this, when I talk about this, what I'm trying to say is that we all have different goals. We kind of want all things, right? We want to be lean, so we want to have a low body fat percentage. We also want to be muscular, so we want to be jacked as fuck. But we want to have muscle at the same time as being lean as possible. And then if you look at performance, we also want to be strong. We want to be athletic. Most of us kind of want it all. And when it comes to training, you have to prioritize your goals. You have to prioritize what you do. You have to prioritize a lot of different things. And I think there's a sequence that works best, that's most optimal, and that's what I want to talk about today when we say you can't have it all. Before I go on, though, I think it's important just to show my new whip. I'm not someone that brags or anything, but yeah, this is it right here. What can I say, guys? I'm really proud. I just want to show you my new car. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Hey, just come this way, man. I don't know if locks are changed. It's weird. Alarms, I don't know how they work. But what I was going to say is how when it comes to aesthetics, when it comes to getting stronger, if you read the stuff by Dr. Brad Schoenfeld, you know that definitely combining both can lead to getting both, but to optimize or maximize one or the other, you kind of have to choose. And so what I mean, you see a lot of bodybuilders that are strong, you see powerlifters that are jacked, but if you want to be as jacked as possible, you probably want to focus on that exclusively. I'd say that as a beginner, it's really important when you first start lifting to focus on strength. Why? Because that's your foundation. I've said this before, but when it comes to building muscle, what do you think is going to help you build more muscle? Benching 225 for 10 reps or benching 135 for 10 reps? And that's why those programs like a 5x5, like Strong Lifts, something like Ripito Starting Strength, any of those programs that focus on giving you that foundation strength are a really good idea when you first start lifting. You might not get as much muscle as the bro that just goes in and does a body part split, you know, doing chest, biceps, arms like 3 times per week. Because they're doing probably more volume than you, they're probably, you know, targeting specific areas with that higher frequency, the higher volume, lower intensity, they will initially build more muscle. But once again, when we talk about how you want to approach your lifting, I think that starting strength is important to build because you could use that afterwards when then you increase the volume. So let's say after a year, you've been a beginner now, after a year of lifting, you kind of want to go more towards building muscle. You got a strength base, maybe you could deadlift 3 plates after a year, squat maybe 3 plates, bench 225, which I think are all feasible goals after your first year of lifting in order to do, or maybe 275 on the squat, 315 on the deadlift, let's say. But anyways, after you do those, after you have that strength base, then you could jump more towards building muscle. So what does that mean? Well, it means that you increase the total amount of sets you do, the total amount of reps you do. You work through all rep ranges. So instead of strong lifts would be like a 5x5 program, you do things where you do 6 to 8 reps, you do 8 to 12 reps. And once again, the research shows that even doing higher repetitions, like 15 plus, can also be beneficial. And that's more the intermediate stage, maybe combining both. So you're combining strength. So your first movement, you focus on that 5x5, 3x5, or 5x3, something like that. But then as you continue the workout, you do more volume, more exercises, more reps, more sets. And in this intermediate stage, it's all about trying to accumulate total working volume, pushing your body to its limit. So once again, when we talk about that, when I say we can't have it all, I mean, if you first approach lifting and you just think like, I want it all, like I'm gonna focus on getting really strong, I'm gonna focus on building muscle, I'm gonna focus on getting lean, you can't do all of them at once. And that's why I think, or I advocate that lean mass phase in general, right? You never want to turn into a fat fuck. Why? Because your strength gains aren't going to be optimal when you're trying to lose weight. They just aren't. Try and lose weight, you know, and trying to lose weight, I should say, sorry, and getting stronger at the same time is incredibly hard to do. Why? You're in that caloric deficit. So there's kind of this optimal road that you can go towards if you want all these goals. Never get too fat. Make sure that you're in that lean mass phase for an extended period of time. Make sure that you're focusing first initially on getting stronger, and then you can add that extra volume. And what you'll see, if you have a friend that's just a bro, and that bro trains, once again, 3 to 4 times per week, all upper body, no lower body, initially he will build more muscle than you, right? But because he doesn't have that strength base, after a year or 2 years, he'll still be benching probably 185 for like 8 reps, as you see most bros in the gym are doing. Whereas you, because you built up that strength base and then you're focusing on building muscle, you'll be able to do 225 for 10, 235, all those things. So it's all about the long term. And I think people don't tend to have that in mind when they think about lifting in general. They just think, man, shit, I want it all. How do I do that? So I'd say first, what's paramount is you get that base level of strength. Then you want to kind of build more muscle, accumulate that muscular base on top of that. And then afterwards, it's kind of up to you. Once you are jacked, once you have enough muscle, you can kind of decide for yourself, where do you want to go? Do you want to spend your more advanced lifting years, so years, 4 or 5 plus after that, so you spend your intermediate periods, so let's say years 2, 3, and maybe 4, building muscle while getting stronger too. After that, what do you want to do? Do you want to build even more muscle? So do you want to reach that natural bodybuilding level? Do you perhaps want to compete when it comes to powerlifting? You want to focus on that, so maybe you take a year to do that. I think it makes a lot more sense to focus on that one thing. And so for me, I've talked about that before, athletic aesthetic, and I've gone through various phases. In 2013, that's why people will know, it's like, oh, you're the most aesthetic in 2013 in general. Yeah, there's a reason behind that. I was focusing on that year just basically on aesthetics. So let's say 90% aesthetics, 10% strength. And then for 2014, 2015, when all my lifts increased, I focused instead on strength. So kind of building muscle was on the back burner, right? My weight stayed the same. And that's why I think, I've been able to get some solid results. I think that's why a lot of people have been able to get solid results, is because you prioritize what you need to do. It's not about doing them all at once. You could combine them and get good results in both, but if you want to excel at any given one portion of it, you could focus on that. You should focus on that for a year, 18 months after you build up that base, and then see from there. The last thing I want to talk about finally is just the fact that you shouldn't pigeonhole yourself. You shouldn't get stuck doing something where maybe you want to change it up. And here's what I mean. I know a lot of people, to give the 3DMJ crew a shout out, like Alberto Nunez, Eric Helms, all those guys, they competed in bodybuilding, but at the same time, they love strength. So you'll see with their training, they do when it's a bodybuilding-oriented focus, when they want to compete. It's a little different than when they want to compete when it comes to powerlifting meet. And so I don't think, and I see oftentimes people are criticized, like what the fuck are you, bro? They'll ask to people online, like, are you a bodybuilder? Or you want to be a bodybuilder? Or you want to be a powerlifter? What are you? It's like maybe they just want to do it all. And I think going back to old school iron, if you ever paid attention, I had a fantastic guy at the first gym I went to. His name was Tom. He was like 75 years old. He was a former bodybuilder that also did powerlifting. That back in the day, everyone kind of just trained together. Weightlifters train with bodybuilders. They train with powerlifters. Tommy Kono, who I think is one of the most badass people of all time, Olympic world record weightlifter, also a bodybuilder at the same time. He did both at the same time. So this whole idea of like, you got to do one thing, you got to do it, just focus on that, and that's it, that's permanent for your life. I don't subscribe to that. So just to wrap it up, guys, once again, you have to be intelligent with the order of how you approach your lifting, right? You can't try to get stronger as you want to lean out. You should build that base level of strength, then build that base level of muscle, and then after that, it's kind of up to you what ratio you want to pursue, the things you want to do. Me, I like weightlifting. Do I think it's going to make me more jacked? No, but it's something I want to become good at. So 2017 is the year I'm deciding to dedicate towards getting better at weightlifting and see how I progress. Keep that in mind. You can't have it all. I'm out of here. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked the video, make sure to like the damn video. I'm looking right at you if you like these walkie-talkies. And I'll be seeing all you guys, my rascals, in that next video. Peace.
Eat your vegetables, eat your vegetables, eat your fucking vegetables.